Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the event safety briefing video for the Jabulani Challenge 2023. Really excited to get you all down to Bobbin Head this coming Saturday for the event, and thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Before we get started, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional custodians upon whose land we will be meeting and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. The first thing I want to talk about in the event safety video is, not surprisingly, safety. So the Jabulani Challenge is quite a technical trail run across all three course distances. There is plenty of things along the route which could trip you up out on the day. So it's really important that runners run to their ability and be especially careful of your footing at all times. Many runners have come back at the end of the Jabulani Challenge saying how technical it was and how they had to constantly watch where they were putting their feet. It's very true. You need to always be watching where you're walking. The other most important safety thing I want to talk about today is crossing the roads or running through car parks. So right at the start at Empire Bay Marina, you'll be running through a car park, and then at different points on the course, you might be running alongside a road, and then all participants will cross the road into the national park just after the Sphinx aid station. So whenever you're doing any of those things, please follow the directions of any traffic controllers and or marshals that are there and give way to any traffic that is moving around that area. Okay, the roads are not closed. You do not have right of way, the traffic has right of way. So make sure you stop if there's any cars moving and let them pass before you cross the road, run through that car park, whatever the case may be. As I said, that's especially important right at the start, just as you go through the Empire Marina car park, and then after the Sphinx aid station, where all runners will cross the road at the National Park toll booth into the National Park down here at Bobbin Head. All right, so pay attention to those two areas, especially around out on course, please. The course is quite narrow for quite an extended period, especially near the start, also near the end, but also generally overall it is quite narrow in parts. That means that it can be quite tricky to find a good space, a good pace for your running. So if you are a quicker runner and you are behind a slower runner that you would like to get past, please ask them politely if they could step aside and let you pass at the next opportunity. Likewise, if you're in front and you can sense that runners behind you would like to get past, make sure you give them the opportunity to do so whenever possible. That'll just make everyone's day go that little bit better if we're able to keep everybody moving at a good speed through those narrower sections. For those runners on the 45 kilometre course, there is a couple of spots when you go out towards St Ives where you'll be doing some out and backs along some narrower sections of trail. So if you are the faster runners or the slower runners, make sure you pay attention to runners coming in the opposite direction. Communicate with each other so you can pass each other quickly and safely. The trails that we're going to be using today can be quite popular with other users. There will be other walkers and things like that out on the course. They have just as much right to be there as you do, so please give them plenty of respect when you come across them during the event. Say hi, give them plenty of space, wish them all the best for their day. I'm sure they'll be doing the same for you. So respect is really important to those other users. The other people I'd really like you to give respect to when you're doing the event is the local residents. So in numerous parts of the course, you'll be travelling close by residential homes. As trail runners, we all love getting up nice and early on a Saturday and going for a run. Some of those local residents might prefer a quiet sleep in, and they do not want to be woken up by whooping and cheering trail runners just over their back fence. So if you just keep the noise down when in those locations, especially early in the day, that'll give those local residents a better time and allow us to keep coming back and putting this event on for you. So I spoke quickly about the fact that the course is quite narrow, especially near the start. To help accommodate that, there will not be a mass start. All runners will be set off in pairs every 5 seconds. So 2 runners every 5 seconds to help spread the field. That will mean that there'll be a little bit of time to get everybody started for each individual course distance, especially with the 22-kilometre runners. There are a lot of you this weekend, so it'll take a little bit of time to get you all started. Please be patient during that time while we get you all out on course. The start will be self-seated, so if you are a quicker runner, make sure you head up towards the front so you can get straight on course. If you're someone that doesn't take things as seriously or a bit of a slower runner, just wait back, allow others to start before you slot in. As I said, it is self-seated and it'll be 2 runners every 5 seconds. The course will be very heavily marked for the weekend. There will be an abundance of pink tape and then red on white arrows and red on white wrong way signs directing you which trail to take, which trail not to take. Pay attention to those course markings. There will also be some other specialist signage at turnaround point locations or where the courses split. So pay attention to make sure that you're following the correct course that you're on. They're nice big colourful signs indicating which way the 45-kilometre runners go, which way the 12-kilometre runners go, etc. Follow those signs and you'll get back here having completed a terrific run. There'll also be, there's going to be 3 pre-run teams out on the course on the morning of the event, rechecking the course, repairing anything that might need it, and overall just making sure that some experienced trail runners have been out on the course before you to make sure that's nicely marked and ready to go for you. When travelling to the event, if at all possible, if you are planning to drive down to the event, please carpool. Gather your fellow runners together and try to minimise the number of cars that come down to Bobbin Head. It is quite a large area. There's plenty of parking, but with the size of the field we have and the want to leave space for other users as well, we will likely fill up all the parking down at Bobbin Head. There'll be traffic marshals in position. They'll be directing you where to park. Please follow their directions. They're going to be there to make sure that we fill up every single spot available. So don't just jump in the first spot that you see. Follow the directions so we can make full use of the space available. If Bobbin Head does fill up, there will be overflow parking at Apple Tree Bay, which is about a kilometre and a half around the headland to the next little bay. There'll be a free shuttle bus that will be doing runs to and from Apple Tree Bay in the morning and then after the event. So if you are parked over at Apple Tree, to get to the start, look out for that shuttle bus, jump on, they'll bring you straight over to the start, and then post run, find the shuttle bus again, they'll take you back to your car. There is the opportunity to travel to the event using public transport. So you might have seen in the event program that there are free shuttle buses running on the morning of the event from Turramurra train station down to the event centre. They start at 6 a.m. When you turn up at the train station, jump on the first available bus. If one bus starts to fill up and there are a selection of different runners from different course distances on the same bus, please make sure you fill it with the people that are going to be starting earliest. All right, so the earliest buses should have predominantly 45-kilometre runners on it, then 22-kilometre runners, and then finally 12-kilometre runners. We don't want to leave 45-kilometre runners up the top of the hill while we're bringing bus loads of 12-kilometre runners down. So just be mindful of letting those earlier starters get on the bus earlier. So that shuttle bus will pick up from Turramurra train station in the morning, run you down and drop you at Bobbin Head. Then when runners start finishing, it'll be doing constant shuttle runs during the afternoon, taking runners back up to Turramurra train station. So that could be a good option to try to arrive by public transport or even drive to Turramurra train station, park there and then catch the bus down from that location. All those things help us minimise the impact on the park. The other thing to consider is that any cars that come into the park, unless they have the appropriate National Parks Pass, will need to pay the National Park parking fee, which is $12.50. So to avoid that, come via public transport. If you carpool, that cost is split over more of you. When you're coming into the park, if the toll booths at the entrances are open, you'll pay that there. Otherwise, there are ticket machines in the car park down at Bobbin Head, so just pay that after you arrive. A big thank you, before I forget, to our incredible volunteers, without whom we couldn't put on the event. They are truly incredible people that sacrifice their Saturday to come out and help us and help you have a terrific day. So make sure you thank them when you see them out on course. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great run on Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you down at Bobbin Head. Thanks very much.